Cassidy. Welcome to my channel. We are going to be doing my March TBR. Yay! We're gonna use my my mood TBR game that I've been using, I think, since January. I think this will be month 3 since I started it. And March is gonna be kind of a big month because I am partaking or I've joined a readathon, which I've done every year since she has started it. Cassidy, with I think her handle is Covers with Cassidy on YouTube. It's always hard to remember off the top of my head. But she's created this, I want to say 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago now. And it is a readathon that she calls Realmathon. And it's pretty much the same every year at the base of it. She has 4 teams. You can choose which team you want to be on. However you want to choose that team, there's different options. But each team has kind of like a theme. So, I think I've joined clerics this year, and so clerics have I think 2 team prompts that if you read a book with one of those or both of those prompts, you get positive points to add to that book plus the other point system. But every team has their own 2 special prompts, I want to say, and then you have 15 negative prompts for points, and then 15 positive prompts for points that you can also kind of pick from to either help your team or to take away points from another team. So it's a lot of fun. And I will hopefully remember to put her video at the end of this video, or possibly link it somehow. I'll just look for it either in my description or at the very end. I will try to put it in one of those places somehow, some way. But it starts in the beginning of March, and it is all month long. And then, yeah, so since we're doing this, since I'm doing this readathon in March, I kind of want to have a good bit of books, kinda. I don't know if I'm going to read a good bit of books, considering how many I read in February. Generally, if I have a really good reading month, and read a lot of books one month, I don't generally read a lot of books the next month. So we're gonna hope for the best on that in this situation, and kind of hope that I read a good amount of books in March, just like I've been doing here in February. Which I will tell you about February in the February wrap up. But just to know, I actually had a really good month. I had a good reading month for February, so I'm really happy about that. But anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the board game. Alright, so let's do a quick little shuffle. Should probably think about putting these on different cards soon, or maybe laminating them or something, so I can shuffle them a little bit better than this, but I digress. So, seeing as what's going on in March, we kind of want a good amount of books, thereabouts. So let's see what we get. How many rolls we need to do? 10. Okay. Sure. A little bit more than what I was thinking, but we'll go with it. So roll number 1, 3. So 1, 2, 3, which is an angel wing, so pink. Book owned for over a year. Okay, so book owned for over a year was my first prompt. And I still have not read this book. Despite all of the hype, everything, I've still not read this book. So maybe this will be the month. Maybe it'll finally be time. Maybe I will finally read this book. But that is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. And sometime after I got this book, I had my books stacked on my floor in my living room. And I'm guessing that maybe something must have fallen on top of this that was like food related. Not sure. But Misha, she did get to it a little bit. Just a little bit though. Just a little bit. Just in case anybody's wondering, what did she do to your book? Yeah, that was a me. That was me. That was me. But anyway, I'm sure everybody knows at this point what this book is about. So we're not going to read the synopsis or anything, but dragons. We will say dragons, right? I mean, just in case somebody doesn't know, but dragons. So yeah, this is book 1. All right, roll number 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another angel wing. Multiple POV. Okay, so multiple POV was our next pick. And so for that one, I'm picking one that I've been wanting to read for a while, and yet I have not. And that is House of Bane and Blood by Alexis L. Menard. I have heard that this is kind of like maybe fantasy, like urban fantasy, kind of like Peaky Blinders type situation. In a city split into 2 opposing sides, power comes in many forms: bloodlines, money, love, and most importantly, secrets. And it is, I think, a duology. This is the first in that duology, and both of them are out. So we're gonna go with this as my second pick. Yay! Roll number 3. 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, another angel wing. Okay. I get one. High fantasy. Okay, rule number 3 got us high fantasy. Not gonna lie, I am not sure if I'm really feeling high fantasy this month or like right now. But maybe something will change in the month. I don't know. It just sometimes high fantasy can be a bit much. I love fantasy. I love high fantasy. I love urban fantasy. I love all the fantasy. But I feel like sometimes high fantasy, it just, since it's a whole different world. There's a lot of world building, a lot of politics, or it's just there's a lot of depth. I feel to high fantasy. That's just fantasy in general, especially when it's not like urban fantasy. I feel like has a lot more depth to it. Just in general, but I feel like just I don't know, most fantasies are kind of like, this is like maybe urban fantasy, like here, and then you have just like regular fantasy, like any like high fantasy. Like, I don't know. There's different tiers. I don't know if I'm explaining this very well. But we're gonna try The Emperor's Blades by Brian Stavely. I've had this book for a while. I know that it is a favorite of, I think, Covers with Cassidy. Cassidy, I think this is one of her favorite series, or she really enjoyed the series. It was either this one or it was Along the Razor's Edge. It was one of the two, or it might be both. But we're going to try to read this one. The Emperor of Anur is dead, slain by enemies unknown. His daughter and 2 sons, scattered across the world, must somehow stay alive and unmask the assassins, but each of them also has a life path on which their father set them, destinies entangled with both ancient enemies and inscrutable gods. So, this sounds like a lot of fun, and I hope I love it as much as some other people have as well. So, this is going to be my 3rd book. Alright, number 4. 1. So, this one is a sun. And I just get 1 card, please. Thank you. This may be a bright colored cover. I think that's doable. Bright colored cover was my next one, so book 4. This was a little tricky. Because a lot of my book covers are dark. I obviously did not think that one through on, like, what I owned situation. Like, I really don't have a lot of bright colored covers. They are all, like, on the darker scale of things. Maybe over there in my romance section, but I didn't look over there as I wasn't really feeling romance. So, or rom-coms or whatever I have over there. So, anyway, I did find one that's pretty bright colored. The Outcast Mage by Annabelle Campbell. Just this guy. So, let's see. In the glass city of Amoria, magic is everything. In Nalia, a student at the city's legendary academy, is running out of time to prove she can control hers. If she fails, she'll be forced into exile, relegated to a life of persecution with the other magicless hollows, or worse, be consumed by her own power. When a tragic incident further threatens her place at the academy, Nalia is saved by Helios Akana, the most powerful living mage. Finding in Nalia a kindred spirit, Helios stakes his position at the academy on teaching her to harness her abilities. But Helios has many enemies, and they would love nothing more than to see Nalia fail. Trapped in the deadly schemes of Amoria's elite, Nalia must dig deep to discover the truth of her powers or watch the city she loves descend into civil war. For there is violence on the wind and greater powers are at work. Ones who could use her powers for good or destroy everything she's ever known. So yeah, no, I'm kind of digging this. So book number 4. All right, number 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've got our moon. Book with a title I love. So editing Cassie for a minute. The clip that I recorded for this book did not record. So for the book with a title I love, it is Daughter of the Drowned Empire by Frankie Diana Mollis. I don't know why I like the title of this so much, but I've always really liked it, and I've always really liked the cover, and so it's just all together. I just love the whole thing. 19-year-old maid Lady Liariana Batavia is third in the line to the seat of power of Bamaria, a position of wealth and privilege, but not safety. Bamaria falls under the rule of the Lumerian Empire, survivors of a celestial war, whose island sank in the drowning. Now all Lumerians submit to the Emperor and his strict laws about magic. He decides what magic can be practiced and what powers remain forbidden. Lyre's own cousin was executed for wielding the wrong kind, and for years Lyre has sworn to protect her older sister, helping them conceal their own illicit magic. But when Lyra must participate in the ceremony that reveals her power, she uncovers something else entirely. Something that means banishment from the Empire. Faced with death and exile and leaving her sisters behind, Lyra enters into a deadly contract. She has 7 months to train as a warrior and pass the Emperor's brutal test of strength. But when she's forced to train with Lord Rienhart, the man she secretly loved since she was a girl, a feared warrior in exile himself, forbidden to her in every way, surviving the training and saving her sisters may mean sacrificing her own heart. So, this is... I want to say this is 5. I don't have everything in front of me anymore. I put it away. So, we're going to go with that, but I might be wrong, and I'm sorry if I am. But, yes. Roll number 6. 2. And 2. So, I can get one of these. Just give me the one. Sci-fi. Okay. Alright, so I got sci-fi. And for this one, I have picked one that has been on my TBR probably a couple of times now, and I still haven't read it, but hopefully I will in March. Fingers crossed. But Red Rising by Pierce Brown. Yeah, I'm hopeful that this is going to be read this month. His wife taken, his people enslaved, driven by a longing for justice and the memory of lost love, Darrow will stop at nothing to bring down his enemies, even if he must become one of them to do so. So, that sounds like fun. I mean, it sounded like fun multiple times since I've had it and had it on my TBR. And I haven't read it yet, but here's to hoping. Alright, roll number 7, I believe. 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we got a cloud. Add a book to your TBR, so add 1 roll. Fantastic. So 11. So since I didn't get to actually get a book with that card, I think I need to roll and then that would actually be the official roll number 7. So here we go. 3. 1, 2, 3. So Angel Wing, still on roll number 7. So this is our book for number 7, and it is horror. Okay, so add 1 book to your TBR. So I had to add a roll. And then I got horror. So I was like, Cassie, you should probably pick something that you own, but you haven't read yet on your physical TBR, because, really need to read some of the books that are actually on my physical shelves that I have not read yet. And, I have this thing where I will read a book and unintentionally kind of fall on to, something to do with cults. And it's very accidental. I never go looking for these books, but they're always, for some reason, so interesting to me. And a while back, after I read one of these accidental come across cult books, I actually found one on purpose. But I have not read it yet. And so that is what we're picking. And that is The Children of Red Peak by Craig DeLuey. I don't remember what book it was that I had read that it was like an accidental, oh, this is about cults, but you didn't know it was about cults because it wasn't in the synopsis. I don't know what book it was, but it was, I think I want to say about a year and a half ago when that happened. And then I purposefully was like, well, what other books, are out there that are about cults? That are, because for some reason I just find them so fascinating and I don't know why, but I do. And so this is what that accumulated to a year and a half ago, thereabouts, was me finding this and getting this book. But I haven't read it yet. So they escaped the cult, but are they free? David Young, Deacon Price, and Beth Harris live with a dark secret. They grew up in an isolated religious community in the shadow of the mountain Red Peak, and they are among the few who survived horrific last days. Years later, the trauma of what they experienced never feels far behind, and when a fellow survivor commits suicide, they reunite to confront their past and share their memories of that final night. But discovering the terrifying truth might put them on a path back to Red Peak, and escaping a second time could be almost impossible. So, this is the horror pick. I think this is going to be a really good pick. It's going to, I think I'm going to like this because I tend to give like 4 stars or higher to books like this generally, so hoping I love it. Okay, roll number 8. 1. Sun. Magic School Academy. So Magic School Academy, so could be a magic school, could be an academy, could be either one. And I actually had a few choices for this, but this is what we're going to go with, I think. This is the one that I think I'm most excited about right now, and that is Half City by Kate Golden. So pretty. Love it. Welcome to Harker Academy for Deviant Defense. Keep your dagger sharp and your wits even sharper. I'm very excited about this. I've been very excited about this since it was announced that she, was writing it, I guess, or publishing it. It was coming out. I've had it on like pre-order for over like about a year now, I want to say. I don't know. Since I heard about it, I pre-ordered it because I was like, yes, I want this. So, this is going to be my Academy pick. 9, I believe. Yeah, 9. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Moon, which is a 5-star prediction. All right, 5-star prediction. So for this one, I've picked Wicked on It by Debbie Cassidy because yes, very much yes. I think it's got a pretty cover, pretty sprayed edges, but this is also an Academy book. So it says, you don't graduate Knightsbridge Academy, you survive it. Born into a sorcerer bloodline, cursed and cut off from my power, I was accustomed to being an outcast. For generations, my bloodline carried the weight of a crime committed by our ancestor, but my mother's death changed everything. She left a clue that could prove our innocence, an ancient text hidden deep beneath Knightsbridge Academy. The Academy is a fortress of power, housing the most dangerous enchanters and sorcerers, conscripted to keep horrors and echoes at bay. And as the last surviving Onyx, I'm owed admission. My plan is simple: find the book and expose the Imperium as the liars they are. But I didn't plan for the whispers that haunt my dreams, or the complication of feelings I shouldn't be capable of, stirred by two men bound to the very institution I've come to destroy. One sees too much, yet says too little. The other is steady, protective, and always in my corner. I can't have either. Yet, when I'm in their presence, my curse begins to crack. If they discover my true purpose, I'm dead, but some truths are worth dying for. The Imperium cursed my bloodline, stripped us of our magic, branded us as traitors, and now they will pay. So, yeah, this is going to be, what is this, 9? I think this is the 9th book that I've put on my TBR. I think this is book number 9. So, alright, number 10. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, which is a moon, which is prettiest cover. Alright, 10 is prettiest cover. So for this one, I'm going to be picking Bonded by Thorns by Elizabeth Helen. I don't know what it is about this cover, but I think it's really pretty. I don't know why. Maybe it's just, it's kind of simple, but it's, I don't know, maybe it's because it is simple and that's why I just think it's so pretty. I don't know, but I really do like it. 4 beastly princes, 1 awakened bookworm, an enchanted world of fae, magic, and danger. I've always loved fairy tales and never imagined I'd actually be in one. When my father wanders into the enchanted realm of the fae, I know I have to go after him, and when he gets imprisoned, I'll do anything to save him, even trade my freedom for his. I had no idea I'd end up imprisoned by 4 sexy fae who turn into beasts at night. I have to win my freedom, and that means making a bargain with them. They must find their mates in order to break the curse. If I can help them do that, they'll set me free. Sounds simple, right? And it's not. Because against my better judgment, I'm starting to fall for these beastly princes. One is smart and sweet, the other mysterious and deadly, another flirty and confident, and the last prince, he's handsome, strong, has a wicked temper, and is dead set against breaking the curse. Why does he want to keep me here forever? But it's not just my freedom on the line. If I don't break the prince's curse soon, all the magic in the enchanted veil will be stolen by the evil and stupidly hot Prince of Thorns, and I'm not letting my princes stay cursed. Not after I've fallen in love with them. So, why choose? On board with that. It's kind of sounding like a Beauty and the Beast kind of retelling a little bit, considering the beginning of that synopsis. But I've heard good things about it, so I'm hoping that I'm really going to enjoy it. Alright, roll number 11, hopefully. Last roll, let's see. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just a sun. Which book you bought this year? Alright, last book. Book you bought this year. So about that. I want to say I think I bought 1 or 2 books in January, maybe, I don't remember. And I bought 2 books this month so far. And I already have both of the books that I've bought already on my TBR. And they were pre-orders. I pre-ordered them like months ago, so technically I didn't actually go to the bookstore and buy them. So we're going to stretch this a little bit to a book that somebody else bought me this year. My mom came down late January and she bought me 4 books. And so I think 2 of them were sequels. So I cannot read those. And then another one was a standalone, I think, but I'm not really feeling it. And then the one that I'm holding right now, which I think I'm feeling kind of into. It sounds very interesting. So I think this is going to be the book that I pick. And that is The Failures by Benjamin Lyer. I heard something about this, what was it, a year ago, thereabouts? And I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. But then I kind of forgot about it. I didn't pre-order it or anything because I didn't think it was something to pre-order. I don't know. And then I kind of just forgot about it. And then I saw it in the bookstore. I'm like, wait a minute, that sounds familiar. So I picked it up and I was like, yeah, I think I want this. So it says, welcome to the Wanderlands. A vast machine made for reasons unknown, the Wanderlands was broken long ago. First went the sky, splintering and cracking, and then very slowly the whole machine, the whole world began to go dark. Meet the failures. Following the summons of a strange dream, a scattering of adventurers, degenerates, and children find themselves drawn toward the same place, the vast underground keep. They will discover there that they have been called for a purpose, and that purpose could be the destruction of everything they love. The end is nigh. For below the keep, imprisoned in the greatest cage ever built by magicians and gods, lies the buried giant. It is the most powerful of its kind, and its purpose is the annihilation of all civilization. But any kind of power, no matter how terrible, is precious in the dimming Wanderlands, and those that crave it are making their moves. All machines can be broken, and the final cracks are spreading. It will take only the careless actions of 2 cheerful monsters to tip the Wanderlands towards an endless dark, or help it find its way back to the light. So yeah, I think this sounds really, really interesting. And so, yeah, this is going to be book 11 that I will hopefully read. And I'll hopefully read in March. That's a really, really big TBR. That is 11 books on my TBR for March. I don't know if I'm going to read all of those books. But we're going to try really, really hard, especially with Realmathon. So yeah, we're going to try really, really hard. But anyway, that is it for now. If you like this video, like it. If you want to see more about me, subscribe. But until next time, bye!